Palm Sunday. My name's David Woodall with the Emsdale Pastoral Charge in the United Church of Canada. On this Sunday, I am confronted by very striking and contrasting images. The palm branches, the cross, the bread and the wine. The palm branches are the enthusiastic embracing of the people of Jerusalem, the society, as it were, embracing the popular Galilean preacher, Jesus. The cross, being that lonely walk Jesus made, away from the embrace of society, away from the tenacious grasp of public popularity, away from a future people clamored to try to give him, and the bread and the wine, a personal and conscious gift to his disciples who had followed him, who had trusted in him, and who were soon going to face life without him. A very large crowd spread their cloaks on the road, and others cut branches from the trees and spread them on the road. The crowds that went ahead of him and that followed were shouting, "Hosanna to the Son of David! Blessed is the one who comes in the name of the Lord! Hosanna in the highest!" We hear echoes of those who find their life will lose it, and those who lose their life for my sake will find it. And echoes of, "This is my body broken for you. This is the new covenant in my blood." Contrasting images, striking symbolism. It's so easy to get caught up in a life of pleasure. Advertisements all around us urge us to indulge all of our desires. Articles and books advise us to find fulfillment in this or that. Supermarket magazines or online trolls tell us how to take pounds off our bodies and look terrific in just 2 months. The search for self-satisfaction can be all-absorbing. Do not deny yourself, but indulge your every whim. Palm Sunday, the celebration of Jesus riding into Jerusalem, the joyful spreading of palm branches on the ground, homage to a ruler who has come, the intensely personal Last Supper, a sharing of food and drink with the ones who were closest to him, a cross. The homage of the Psalms was a misplaced honor. Jesus was not bringing a rebellion against the Romans or against the oppressive priests of Judaism. Jesus was walking the lonely way of sacrifice and love, of death if needed, but life and peace for all the people of Jerusalem and beyond. But this was not what they wanted, so they turned against him. When we gather today, we sing and we celebrate. Life is good. And so we place the palm branches on the ground as the king arrives. But shortly we will share bread and wine in an intensely personal gathering. And then we'll stand in the shadow of the cross bewildered, wondering why. What is happening? What is going on? Can this truly be real? Striking and contrasting images. The one is exciting and comforting. We all like a parade. One is deeply personal, and the other leaves us disturbed and uncomfortable. In Dietrich Bonhoeffer's book, Letters and Papers from Prison, he raises the question, who is Jesus Christ for us today? Bonhoeffer was imprisoned by the Third Reich. He lived in a land whose inherited Christianity had done so little to oppose the monstrous evil that was to snuff out his own life, along with millions of Jews and Poles and Gypsies. To Dietrich Bonhoeffer, the old answers did not make any sense. The question was then and now, who is Jesus Christ for us today? And whoever we are, wherever we may be, in apparent safety or in peril, in dire want or gracious abundance, If we are to relate to this Christ, then that question still stands for us today. The Bible puts it this way: when he entered Jerusalem, the whole city was in turmoil, asking, "Who is this? Who is this Jesus?" What does faith mean for us today? Jesus was not a national liberator, the Nelson Mandela of his age. He was not going to drive the occupying Romans out of the country and then set up in the land of Israel a kingdom where God's justice could prevail. The people of Israel believed this. In many ways, it was a national hope. The reason they continued to exist. That was what the coming of the new Messiah meant. Jesus, however, was not to be that sort of figure for the disciples or for anyone else. No amount of palm branches cast on the ground, no amount of friendly persuasion, no taking advantage of opportunities to walk away from the cross, and there were many of them, none of them redirected Jesus. If we are truly to follow and seek to be one with Christ, then we must also understand these days before Easter. The nature of God is not power only or justice only, but in creation and in everything else that God has done, the key has been self-giving. The sign of the cross is the highest symbol of our faith. It's woven into the very vestments of the church. It marks our tables. It's lifted high over our sanctuaries. It's found in our steeples. It's carved in our headstones over our graves. And when the empty cross is seen, no words need to be said, for the whole story is right there to be seen. For God so loved the world that he gave his only son. When we drove to Florida this past year through the mountains at one point, we came across groupings of 3 crosses. We passed a number of these. Not a word needed to be said because we understood the message, the way of the cross, the way of Jesus. Jesus told his disciples, if any want to become my followers, let them deny themselves and take up their cross and follow me. For those who want to save their life will lose it, and those who lose their life for my sake will find it. For what will it profit them if they gain the whole world, but forfeit their life? Or what will they give in return for their life? Thomas Heron once wrote, if you want to know who I am, don't ask me where I live, or what I like to do, or how I comb my hair. Ask me, what am I living for? Who is Jesus Christ today? What are you living for? What kind of world was God's dream as hope looked down from that cross? These are the questions in these days. The symbolism is important. Palm branches, bread, and wine, and the cross. Oh, by the way, the cross is empty. Now the future is in our hands.